Section C. Directions. In this section, you will hear 3 passages. At the end of each passage, you will hear 3 or 4 questions. Both the passage and the questions will be spoken only once. After you hear a question, you must choose the best answer from the 4 choices marked A, B, C, and D. Then mark the corresponding letter on answer sheet 1 with a single line through the center.
Passage 1. Single-sex education can have enormous benefits for female students. Numerous studies have shown that women who attend single-sex schools tend to have stronger self-confidence, better study habits, and more ambitious career goals than women who attend coeducational schools. Girls who graduate from single-sex schools are 3 times more likely to become engineers than those who attend coeducational schools. The reason is that all girls' schools encourage women to enter fields traditionally dominated by men, such as science, technology, and engineering. In coeducational schools, girls are often expected to succeed only in the humanities or the arts. Research has also shown that in coeducational settings, teachers are more likely to praise and give in-depth responses to a boy's comments in class. In contrast, they might only respond to a girl's comments with a nod. They are also more likely to encourage boys to work through problems on their own, while they tend to step in and help girls who struggle with a problem. In an all-girls setting, girls are more likely to speak up frequently and make significant contributions to class than in a coeducational setting. Girls studying in a single-sex setting also earn higher scores on their college board and advanced placement exams than girls who study in coeducational settings. All girls' schools tend to be smaller than coeducational schools, which means teachers will be able to tailor the materials to girls' students' personal learning styles and interests.
Questions 16 to 18 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 16. What advantage does the speaker say girls from single-sex schools have over those from coeducational schools? Question 17. What do teachers tend to do in coeducational settings? Question 18. What are teachers more likely to do in an all-girls school? Passage 2. Today, I found out that Seattle doesn't really get that much rain compared with most U.S. cities. In fact, Seattle ranks 44th among major U.S. cities in average annual rainfall. Cities that get more rainfall than Seattle include Houston, Memphis, Nashville, and pretty much every major city on the eastern coast, such as New York, Boston, and Miami. So why does everyone think of Seattle as a rainy city? The primary root of this misconception lies in that Seattle has a relatively large number of days per year with rainfall, compared with New York and Boston, which get an average of about 16% more rain per year than Seattle, but also average between them about 36 fewer days a year of rainfall. So it rains a lot less in Seattle, and the rain is spread out over more days than those cities. This is why few locals in Seattle carry an umbrella generally. When it does rain, it tends to be a very light rain that isn't troublesome. It almost never really rains, as most people think. On top of that, it never really storms in Seattle either. Seattle gets an average of a mere 7 days a year with thunder. So in short, if you like sunny but not too hot summers, mild winters but with lots of cloudy days, Seattle's the place to be. Anyway, if you visit Seattle, don't bring an umbrella. People will look at you thinking you're funny.
Questions 19 to 21 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 19. What did the speaker find out about Seattle? Question 20. Why do local people in Seattle seldom carry an umbrella? Question 21. Why does the speaker say Seattle is a good place to be? Passage 3. After a tough workout or a day full of physical activity, it's common to find your muscles aching. But where do these pains come from? According to a German professor, the soreness comes from straining your muscles in an uncommon way. For example, jumping on a bicycle for a ride. Because you haven't ridden in a long time, soreness occurs since your leg muscles aren't used to that movement. When muscles perform an activity they aren't regularly exposed to, the tiny fibers that are inside them are being torn apart. As muscle soreness develops, the body has to work to repair the muscle tears. But this doesn't happen immediately. First, the body must realize the muscles are damaged. When the body realizes the muscles are hurt, the response is to increase blood flow to the area and increase body heat. Damaged cells are then cleaned up, and the body sends cells specially designed to break down the large muscle fiber fragments. Healing can take place after this. It takes about a day until these cells make it to your aching muscles. That's why there's most often a delay associated with muscle soreness. Repair of damaged cells takes about 2 days, and afterwards the soreness disappears. Unfortunately, there's little that can be done to relieve muscle soreness. Pain-relieving creams don't work, but a hot shower or warm bath can provide some relief.
Questions 22 to 25 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 22. What does the German professor say about muscle soreness? Question 23. What happens when muscles are damaged according to the passage? Question 24. How long does it take for damaged cells to heal? Question 25. What does the speaker suggest one do to relieve muscle soreness?
This is the end of listening comprehension.
听力考试结束，请考生